Sup gamers, and welcome back to another video. So if the audio is a bit off or a bit strange or a bit funky, please tell me in the comments. I'm still working on audio. I think as of currently, I think I got it fine. It may be too loud, it may be too quiet. Just tell me and I'll try and fix it. But anyways, today I would like to go over the Halloween event for this game. Now, if you give me a sec, I'm gonna pause the video and go over and look over at the updates page. Now, I went over to the Discord, right? So, and I clicked on the patch. So, let's go over the patch. So, hey y'all, we're deeply sorry for the delay of this Halloween update. So, they're gonna be moving it over to the entire rest of the month. But anyways, here's the gameplay. So explosions now damage nearby wildlife, NPCs, and glass instead of just players. So now you can grab a piece of dynamite, light it up, toss it into your local building, and then watch it blow up with everyone else inside. You know, they're no longer invincible. Small balancing changes to gameplay. Okay, whatever. Added non-player character system for enemies such as skeletons. I have no clue what that means. I'm too dumb. Various small changes to wildlife spawning mechanics. Okay, they probably improved the spawning of the skeletons on the ground or something like that. Players and skeletons now drop piles of bones. This can be useful because if you only thought the skeletons drop bones, players do too. And with that, you can now farm bones with both players and skeletons. Although I think there may be a chance or not a chance. I don't know. I need to watch the stream again I made, because I killed a couple people, but I saw a few bones here and there drop from people, but not every time, so it might just be chance-based with the player. You can now lasso players who are in ragdoll state, so no more needing to be salty about those ragdoll Game Pass players. Added new barkeep role at Me Run Lagoon. I'll talk about that later when I get farther into the video. New doctor role, same, I'll talk about that later. Added new blood moon, so obviously within the blood moon is a bit dark, I will say this, but only within the first hours of the night, then it gets a bit brighter. That's my only complaint, because you know how when the moon's still rising and the sun's all the way down, there's just no light covering the ground at all, making it really hard to find a Wendigo for the first few hours. Yeah, that's my only problem with the blood moon, but I don't even think it's the blood moon. It might just be something else. I can't tell. Campfires now set the player on fire and will extinguish over time with water. So this is actually really good for you trolls out there. If you're a troll, right? You can now troll by just equipping. If you're out in the middle or somewhere hunting or something, right? Someone's grinding. You can equip your little campfire and place it right under where they are, and you can set them ablaze. You can also just tie someone up and just toss them on a regular campfire. And this doesn't just apply to the player-placed campfires. This applies to fire in general. So if you go into fire at all, you will burn alive. And moving on, next we have lightning strikes now have a chance to explode on impact. So I guess you can now die from lightning. Windmills in the world now have animations, just aesthetics for you aesthetic people out there. Rapids and other strong currents will push you down the stream of water. This is another trolling method. So if you could lasso someone, okay, going back over to Mill Run Lagoon, the waterfall there, right? There's a river where the bridge is built. You can lasso people in that town, carry them over to that bridge, and just drop them off. And that river's current is very strong, and it will carry them all the way down. I don't even know how far it carries you down, because I never really rid it the entire way. But that's really good for trolling if you like trolling. Added new ore locations for mining. This is an if. It's an if statement. If you are not really a miner, it's not going to affect you too much. But if you love mining, this could be devastating or not devastating at all. So what they did was they revamped all the mining locations. Specifically, they made a lot of iron spawn at Howling Peaks now, and I think there's only one gold ore now. They also, I think, changed up spawn times, but ores are now worth more, too. So, I guess that's kind of helpful. I don't know what the best mine in the game is anymore. So, if you were to ask me how I got all my money, I would say I got it from Howling, but I don't know if that's the best mining spot in the game. I May do a video researching that later, but I'm not really like going to main playing the Wild West forever. I just play Wild West for fun. Added new org locations. Okay, same thing I just went about. New official underworld tunnel. This is for the raid. I'll talk about that later. Added new Easter eggs. The ghost train. If you don't know what the ghost train is, it's like a transparent train that just goes around the map and stuff. There's no difference to it, other than it just looks cool and it only spawns at night. But that's the only difference. I don't think you're getting extra loot out of it. It's just aesthetic. So if you're thinking there's going to be stuff out of this, there's not. Additional content. Added new legendary loot item, Thunderstruck Cactus. This one sells for 3,000. I remember seeing it in a YouTube video, a very short one, actually. Can't remember the name of the guy, but if I find it, I'll put it in like the description, or if I even care to find it, that is. But that's where I found out how much it's worth when you sell it. Added new zombie bear pelts. If you're a pelt collector, or if they're adding pelts for the next update, I recommend grabbing these because they aren't going to be around much longer. They might be out next year, but I don't know, because I thought the skeleton horse was going to come back this year, which is why I bought a mule. I was expecting to sacrifice it to get a skeleton horse, but no, they added the Wendigo horse, which I'll go up onto later. Added new amethyst gem. More mining stuff, I guess. Added new avatar faces. I need to probably check that out. Actually, no, I won't. The reason why I won't check out this one is just because I don't even know if they're new or not. So that would just be something you guys would have to look at yourselves. But, okay, new Little Rock Reservation, Indian Land, and spawn location. So, you know Tribal, right? The old Tribal? They changed that up. They moved the spawn somewhere else, and they also put town there. The old space is still there, but it's been remodeled, and there's a few other things. I wouldn't recommend going to the old location because unless you're grinding. Hell, I wouldn't even do it there because there's a better spot in it. You know the hidden location in Puerto Del Dorado? Just go over to the hidden location there. There are skeletons there. It's way better of a grinding spot than the old tribal village space. At a new Statesman Hotel. I'm actually going to go over that. I was actually planning to go over that. I'm not going to say too much about it now. I'll talk more about it when I show it. But yeah. I'll talk about that later. At a new Silvertown location, obviously we talked about this. They're basically the same thing. In fact, all of these are just the same thing. Revamped the majority of the tribal forest biome with new locations, buildings, and more. Added a new ruined fort landmark. I'll talk about that too. Not a functional fort. Added a new Run Lagoon. I'll talk about that too. So this is just all the revamp. Malicious. Small visual updates made to the death message. I don't really notice that too much, so I don't think I'm going to go over that. Items in the backpack now have sounds for item equip and unequip. You can no longer sell items to the hunter vendor. Updated the game map with new locations and terrain. New auto level of detail LOD setting enabled by default. I have no clue what this means. I'm too dumb. Bug fixes. What is my pronunciation today? Okay, whatever. Several small bug fixes and performance improvements. Small stability improvements to the auction house system. Fixed some game balancing issues regarding Ragdoll Game Pass. Improvements to the level of detail. Okay, I think that's just whatever. Just optimization, I guess. Since we've been under a lot of pressure, we're still working on it. Okay, in-game quest menu has been removed due to the factor rewriting the... Okay, so this is for the... If you don't have the Discord server, I believe they're planning a level up. Like, they're creating a leveling system. And I think they're removing it to replace it for that update. So if you like leveling systems in games like RPGs or stuff like that, where leveling systems are common, I guess you'll like that. New non-player characters such as skeletons may have stability issues. We're trying our best. The last few days, okay, yeah, NPCs, everyone complains about them. They just have aimbot. That's actually what I was saying, aimbot, the entire time, because I'm just repeating words like a little muppet from what I've been reading on the Discord. Explosive arrows do not stick to non-player characters such as Scout. Bruh. What do you mean they don't stick? This is not logical. I know they're made of bones, and I know bones are supposedly stronger than steel. But bro, where's my arrow sticking? I like to stick things in things. That does not sound right. Please do not hear that as something else. Halloween 2021 rewards. New Wendigo horse from killing. Okay, wow. I think I just went over everything. You know, I'll just go over everything from here. I think we read it all. Alright, okay, so now that we reviewed overall, like, digitally how the update is, let's go over the update itself, starting with the obvious spawn point right here. This place right here is the new Little Rock Reservation spawn point. So when you go to spawn in Tribal Village, this is going to be the expected new spawn you're going to have to look forward to. Love it or not, it's going to be here. And over here, this is the fort. This place right here, so a lot of YouTubers, especially in the first few days of this update, come over here and they're like, this is where you go to grind bones. Do not grind bones at this fort. I'm sorry. The spawns are so bad and so slow, they're not worth it. And everyone's always here sometimes. Heck, there's not even that many people here to begin with, even right now, and normally there is. Some guy who just smuggles all the skeleton parts and stuff here. But yeah, do not go over here. This is, unless you want to look at the new fort or something, I wouldn't recommend going over here. It's not worth it. And next thing up on our update list, let's go over to the rest of Little Rock. So yeah, this is obviously the new spawn location, but this is the new doctor's office. New doctor's office, not really much to it. There's a bed here, a few chairs there, nice little seat, probably a doctor's workbench, and a furnace to heat up the building, you know, like old times. And also, another cool thing you've been noticing is these little tents over here. So, these tents, right? There's really not much to them. I wouldn't recommend using them for grinding the Wendigo. In fact, if I were to be grinding the Wendigo, I would be bringing the Wendigo from all the way down there. Like, you can grind at the shack, but the shack's horribly inefficient. But you can grind from the shack, but yeah, it's inefficient. But you can also just drag the Wendigo all the way up here and grind it here, because there's a spawn point right there, and you can just grind it from up here. It won't waste too much time if you know what you're doing, but yeah, there's a little tip for grinding the Wendigo. Also, before I view the rest of the town, I want to show you something. This is the fire damage, so you don't need to place down stuff. Like, you don't need to place down your own campfire to do this, although you can if you're a troll or something and you just want a mobile thing and don't want to go all the way over to a village. But yeah, you can go over here. This will kill, but it's not a fast death. I mean, I literally just stood in a fire for 10-15 seconds and I'm not burned to death yet. Though, I am close. Let's use this horse. I'll talk about this horse in a few moments. But yeah, if you wonder what this horse looks like, and fine detail, it's really just, I would say it's a dead horse with a Wendigo mask attached to it. If I were to put like some canon stuff to it, I would probably consider it like, this is not like canon to the actual lore of the game. This is just my take on what the canon to the game could be, and that is, this horse was probably like one of Callahan's mangled animals, and he just happened to strap one of the Wendigo skulls to it, and it happened to come to life because the Wendigo skull is supernatural. The reason why I say it's dead is because, well, I don't think a horse is meant to have a huge cavity open in its body. So, let's move on. So down here, we got the new general store slash hotel. Why do I say general store? Because, well, when you go in here... Oh, never mind. This is just the hotel. I thought there was a general store in here. Oops, I messed up. The general store's over here, sorry. Yeah. I honestly thought the hotel was the thing. You know what? Whatever, it doesn't matter. This is probably the largest store general store in the game, if not the largest store in the game. And the reason for that is because I don't think, well, yeah, the last one did have two, like the one in Bronze does have 2 stories, but this one's probably, in my opinion, better. There's a bit more stuff, a bit more detail. The game developers are definitely improving on what they do. And as of tribal equipment, you may be wondering, no, it's just a normal general store. Although I believe sometime in the future there probably might be some more tribal stuff here, considering the aesthetic or look of this place. Anyways, moving on to that hotel. So this town may or may not be possibly a role player's favorite town, because you have a doctor's office, you have a really beautiful general store, and you have a nice bank/post office, which, by the way, you can just sit in here and it gives me like, so you ever played Red Dead Redemption, right? I'm pretty sure this one feels the most similar to that game, because normally the other ones just have, you know, the bank's just the golden bars and stuff. This is a nice little take on it. You can also use it like a normal bank here too, I believe. Maybe. No. Never mind. I thought there was. My hopes for what some of this stuff of the update is starting to bring me down, because I don't know as much as I thought I did. Anyways, over here, this is the hotel. This place is like every other hotel. You can sit here. Some guy can probably go over here and just be some hotel owner. Ooh, there's a safe here. Huh, interesting. Maybe you can rob the hotel later. Anyways, all rooms are identical, you know, your typical copy and paste stuff. Don't expect someone to actually make fine details to every room. Heck, if I was making a game, I wouldn't do that. I would just make everything copy paste. Maybe a few rooms be different, but you don't really need them to be. This is really just for all you role players out there, not really much for your casual player. Although, there is a fun little perk about this place. You're protected here, so you can't actually use this as a house. Like, this is the closest thing to a house you're gonna get from something that's not the building update. This is the closest thing to the building update houses in the game, in my opinion. Anyways, moving on from here. I don't know if you can hear it, but you may hear the little waterfall thing over here, and that is from the this is from the, I can't remember what they're called. Water wheel? Yeah. But there's a water wheel here, and this is by far, I honestly thought Howling was cool. I personally think this bar is even better than Howling's. And yes, this is a bar, and now I can actually say with certainty that without, you know, getting all for saying something too much, no, this is basically your average normal bar. The only thing this place is missing is a nice piano or some place to listen to sound like every other bar. This is the only downside to this place. But it does have a kitchen. I think a couple other bars have a kitchen, but I think only Bronze in this place has a kitchen. The one in Howling and the one in Puerto del Dorado, I don't know too much. I didn't really look at them. I'm not going to look at them to correct myself. There's a bit of an audio error back here. If you go near the door, it's going to play the outdoor sound, when really you're just meant to be in here and not hear the audio directly. Yeah, because over here it's fine. I think it's just back here. Audio errors back here. So devs, if you're watching, there's an audio error if you stand in that area right there. Not much else to this place, so moving on. There might be a slide over here, I can't remember. But I'm gonna demonstrate 2 things before anything else. So, this, I believe, is a slide. Oh, it is. Oh, it is. So if you have the Ragdoll Game Pass, you can use this thing to slide. But anyways, actually, so you may be wondering why I'm being pulled, and that is because in the new update, they made it so that currents pull you now, and this is considered to be a current. Now, this is the troll spot. When I was talking about the thing, you can grab someone, and you can just toss them off like this, and boom. They're now being dragged, and it's not easy to get out of this either. Like, well, it's mildly easy, but it will drag you all the way down there. Now, for items. So, as you can tell, there's an item in my inventory, and that is the Cursed Volcanic Pistol. the damage is already right there. So I'd say around 50, 56 feet is when this damage starts to go down. And then this is actually really good damage drop off. It goes all the way down to 22.5. That's not bad at all. It originally was a bit more, less damage to this gun, but they buffed it to be more. Then for this weapon, I think it does 40 damage. Don't take my word on that though. And now, time for the Wendigo horse. The Wendigo horse, as everyone's been expecting, is the new horse of the update. Now, the perks of this horse is that the antlers are super huge, and although they're a super big inconvenience when, you're shooting and you have antlers in your face, they're a really big advantage because you can shoot the antlers but not hit you. The only downside is that, well, it did damage to the horse, didn't it? So, the head of this horse has a big hitbox. So, although it has no headshot damage, quote unquote, what people say, it still has a big hitbox. And you want to know something about that quote unquote thing I just mentioned about there not being headshot damage to the horse? Oh, well, you see, the common misconception is that this horse is completely immune to headshot damage. But you see, I shoot it right here. Now, there's no headshot damage, but if I shoot it right here, if the horse stops moving, there is headshot damage. So, if you manage to shoot under the skull in the horse's head, you'll manage to kill the horse with a headshot. But just so you know, this horse is not easy to kill, and even if you get a headshot, what is this unholiness? I think that was a bug. I think it was trying to recover, and it just didn't count that as a death. It probably had immunity for a few moments. Give it a sec. But yeah, it still takes a lot of damage to get, but you can still hit it. Just saying though, although you can still get a headshot on this horse, most of its head is covered by the Wendigo mask, and when you're driving this horse, it's going to be bobbing up and down, and heck, it's even pushing forward, just hiding the rest of the head even more. So getting that headshot on a moving horse is very hard to do. But even if you do, and it's still going to take a lot of damage. It's still going to take 2 shots to kill this horse with a double headshot. It'll take, I'd say the horse has 210 HP. And as for speed, this horse is about exactly as fast as the Mustang. The only downside is that it has less stamina. But the reason why I would say this horse is better than the Mustang is because it actually, if you look at the Mustang, right? Let me just look at it right now. Look at the Mustang stats and look at this horse's stats. I get it, the speed's not as high, but look at the hit points. Do you notice a difference with the not the hit points. Do you notice a difference with the points? This one actually has 1 point more than this horse, so technically it is better, with the added bonus of harder to hit headshot damage, making this horse really OP. Like, I would highly recommend using this over the Mustang if you have it. Like, I know it's not as fast, so there's no need to use this horse in like a race. But seriously though, this horse is really, really more powerful than what people say about it. And more on this horse, I'm pretty sure you want to know how to get this horse. So I'm going to just bring up the map right now. And the most common spots actually are in the tribal camp or the tribal forest, mainly this general area. I'd say about here is where the first Wendigo spawns, and there is where the other Wendigo spawns. Now, there's a bunch of methods on how to kill it. Some people say go over here to kill the horse. Some people say bring it here to kill the horse. My method is to just take wherever the heck the Wendigo is in this area and bring it all the way over here and stand on, you see that itty bitty pixel, that 3-point pixel there on the map? Just bring it over to that TP specifically, right next to this big TP and right next to this other TP. Just bring it over to this TP on the map and just shoot it there, because it tends to get stuck directly into those two areas, and even when it's teleporting, you can still get shots on it, It may be hard at first to perfect this, but after like a few tries, you'll have it down by maybe 4 after 4 times. But if you're on a public server, don't try this grinding method. There's no need. You have other people that's just gonna kill it, so it's more of a luck-based thing. But if you're in a private server, then you can probably try it. It's actually really good there. Also, they renamed the Fort Tyler to Ashburn Prison, and this fort has no name. So if you liked this place being named Fort Tyler, I'm sorry, but honestly, you gotta admit this is definitely better. They could have called it Tyler Prison, but Ashburn Prison's pretty good. They don't, and it's still the same thing. It's the same place, different name. You know, that type of marketing style. And okay, let's go over here real quick. Pinewood Hills. If the Wendigo spawns over here, just go all the way over here to Bronze City. Bring it over into the bar, or bring it over by these fences. Either way, it will work the same. It's pretty good. In fact, I would actually recommend doing the fences. I didn't even use the fences in my grinding method. I just used the bar because I was dumb. I wasn't educated like the other people of this game. And also, I didn't really do Pinewood Hills often. I was always grinding tribal. But yeah, it has a hard time hitting you here. And then the final place I would say to look for is the Great Desert. I say final place to look for is because it's really hard for this one. This one's going to be a difficult explanation. I'll get onto that one soon. But this one, it will spawn over here by these areas. You can shoot it. It will run over here. Get over by this edge, but not on top of the entire cliff. Just get lower down, as far down as you can go without slipping and falling off. When you go, will teleport, fall down. You might get knocked down a few times, but if you just run around, come back here, and do stuff like this, you should be fine. And then the final hardest spot, it spawns literally right here. If you thought it spawned in Bear Paw Valley, it does, but it didn't spawn in the grinding spot. I thought it would spawn over here. That's what I normally think about when I hear Bear Paw Valley, is that grinding area. But yeah. It spawns right next to the Easter egg stuff. I would suggest leading it over to Howling Peak. You're going to die a lot on this one. This one's the hardest one. I have found 0 grinding methods on how to kill it. Well, I have found one, but it's a very broken one. You just bring it over to the bar. You bring it inside the bar, or maybe use the fences over here. I can't remember if there's even fences over there. I don't really pay attention to the game much. But yeah. Those are the places it will spawn, and that's really the best I can recommend you on getting this horse. There's not much I can say on this. Moving on, the raid. So in a public server, I believe you need 30, and in a private server, you need 50. It shouldn't be a big difference, because honestly, getting 50 or 30, it's not hard. You just go over here. Literally, I believe, where is it? There's a secret area. Little winding, yeah, right here. You see this space right here? Apparently, they unblocked it from being covered up by the map. But yeah, you go from Puerto El Dorado and go all the way over here. This space, oh dude, this space is actually really good. Because at this space, right? This is the best skeleton spawn in the map. I have found very little that are close to it. This one's just the best for grinding, in my opinion. There's another grinding spot here in the tribal, like old tribal village. That place still exists. They didn't completely remove it. I just didn't walk over there yet. There's also a log cabin, or a logging place here. The old hunter's cabin still exists, but I don't think it's super useless now unless you want a bow. And I think that's it for about the update. I mean, we have UFOs, but I'm not going to go over the UFOs. Reason why is because, honestly, why would I go over something that's going to be gone in the update? I'm trying to get everyone to get permanent items. But if you're a big fan and you just really painfully want that laser cannon so badly, then it does like 66 damage. It's basically the Spitfire, but constant. Like, it's the Spitfire, but both of these are 66. There is no difference. It's literally just 66 damage at whatever range. But it's not permanent. It drops on death, and you cannot store it in a bank. and zombie bears, I guess, for the raid. The raid, I can't really see too much because I don't really have much information on the raid. I've done it a few times, but I never really cared enough. The raid's actually over here. Like, I think you go around here and then over here. I don't know what happens over here. I don't know why. Your character appears over here, although I think the raid's actually over here. I don't know what that is over there about, but it doesn't matter. Either way, just stand on like one of the red coral thingies you find, and grind the bears that way, and then defeat the boss. Shouldn't be super hard, shouldn't be super easy, but it's a working method. I hope this video has something to it, and hope you learned something out of this. Hopefully this explains a lot of stuff. I don't know if I got everything correct or down to a T. I don't actually know this entire horse's speed, but I'm going to assume the stats here is just exactly what you get, just with the added head shot protection, although it has a bigger head to shoot. But anyways, this is pretty much the video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye, guys.